You're listening to the New York Sports Show, the #1 all New York sports podcast. Hosted by Dominic Konareski.
The New York Mets started the free agency period in one of the most rough ways possible, with star players Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz opting out of their contracts. Now, for Alonso, it was essentially confirmed minutes after Game 162 against the Miami Marlins, for a Met team that had just such a catastrophic fall this season. A team that nearly made the World Series in 2024, went all the way to the NLCS, where they fought and battled hard against eventual champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. New York was expected to come into 2025, dominate, and win the National League East. Instead, they missed the playoffs entirely and ended up finishing 2025 as one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball since the All-Star break. Now, obviously, retaining Pete Alonso in free agency, it's all going to come down to money. The Mets have Juan Soto's record-breaking contract, not to mention the big money contract for Francisco Lindor. Nonetheless, though, New York has to play to win it all in 2026, as we do not know still if there'll even be a Major League Baseball season in 2027. The Mets need to become a win-now team. And when it comes to Pete Alonso, you have Tim Britton of The Athletic projecting around a 5-year, $140 million contract for the Polar Bear, who is one of the best hitters in Mets history, and overall who has been one of the biggest home run hitters and a very big home run factor ever since his rookie season. Now, in 2025, Alonso barred out a slash line of 272, 347, 524, and 871. Saw him belt 38 home runs and drive in a very impressive 126 RBIs, where he played in every single game throughout the Mets' 2025 regular season. But more so, as big as Alonso is when it factors into the Mets offense, you cannot help but truly realize the main need for New York is pitching. The starting rotation got decimated. The bullpen was atrocious all season long. At the end of the day, the Mets could bring back Pete Alonso. Steve Cohen will spend whatever he has to retain Alonso. So I'm not really that worried about the money factor for Alonso, but it's more so the priority list for the New York Mets, because I truly do not think that Pete Alonso is a top 1 or even top 2 priority on the New York Mets list for free agency this offseason, as starting pitching and bullpen depth will undoubtedly be spots 1 and 2. I do think that the Mets will end up offering Pete Alonso a very sizable contract, but at the end of the day, it's more so, will Pete Alonso want to come back to New York and remain a Met, not essentially for the rest of his career, but at least for the next 3 to 5 years. I'm Dominic Konareski. Comment down below what you guys think. Take it easy, folks.